Shit.
Good day, guys. Welcome back to the Entertain House YouTube channel. I am joined by special guest Julian Ali today. How are you, mate?
Pretty good yourself.
I'm not too bad. The last time I did one of these, I think it was for the Bulldogs match. I was really looking forward to. I think it was Josh from Sports Shed TV jumped on, and I'd love to do more of these as the season go on. I think it's something that I want to add to the channel. I do my weekly tips. I go to the game. I vlog those Parramatta games. But, speaking with the fans, speaking about how the other team's going, past moments of these clashes, and we're here to speak about the mighty Eels taking on the St. George Illawarra Dragons on Sunday at 2 o'clock at CommBank Stadium. Fans on the field after the game, as long as
Is
the
it?
it is fans on the field as long as there is no
Ooh,
rain. Julian's excited there. It's been a while.
ooh, I
It's
didn't
been a
know
long
that.
time for CommBank, as Jared Hayne would say. It's been a long time.
It's
But
been a
yeah,
long.
let's get straight into it. So let's speak about previous encounters. Now,
All
obviously,
right.
I'm testing memory here, but the
Oh,
most recent meeting was on the, it says the 3rd of the 4th here. So the 3rd of the 4th, 3rd of April. So that's a long time ago when the Parramatta
yeah.
Eels beat the Dragons 48 points to 14. The big one I remember was the Bryce Cartwright flick pass out to the wing. Impressive play there. Previous matchup before that was the 11th of April, 2021, where the Dragons actually not only beat the Eels, but they flogged them. I remember that game. The Dragons
Oh,
weren't going so well, but they won that game 26 points to 12. And they also won against the Eels the matchup before that at CommBank. So they had 2 wins at CommBank across 2 years by a scoreline of
jeez.
14 points to 12 in a very scrappy game. Do you think that the recent favor of the Dragons winning those games gives them a bit of an advantage going to CommBank rather than playing at home because they know that they've been able to win at this stadium in 2 of their last 3 matchups?
Oh, I'm not really sure. I'm with the form that a dragons and eels are in. Like, I don't really know, to be honest. Like, if they've won there, they know they can win there, but I don't think they're not really confident at home winning now. So
Do you
I
think
don't
that
know.
Do you think that sense of players missing? I think there's a few players we can name, but I think probably Cody Ramsey, who was at fullback, the
Yeah.
big one. Do you think when players think about this, record that they've had against teams and the fact that they've won some of those recent matchups, do you think it kind of goes out the window with the fact that players changing? The man on our screen, Tyrell Sloan, will be at
Yeah.
fullback, not Cody
Yeah, it
Ramsey.
does.
The back row
It
seems
does,
to
yeah.
change a lot too.
Because we've had different fullbacks in the last couple of years. It's been Matt Duffy, Cody Ramsey. Well, last year it was Sloan, then he got dropped for the pretty much the rest of the year, and then it was Ramsey, and then now it's been Sloan all year. So yeah.
Tell you what, I get really excited for these Parramatta Eels versus Dragons games because my girlfriend goes for the St. George Illawarra Dragons, poor bastard. But, you know, I want to go back to some previous meetings. Now, one in favour of the Dragons, 2018. I still remember the month of June, her dad screaming, the man you just mentioned, go Dufty. Parramatta looked like they had that game. Parramatta, I believe, I could be wrong, had not lost to the Dragons in about 5 years going into the game. And the Dragons got the win, 20 points to 18. Dufty scoring under the post, a late comeback from the Dragons saw them get the job done. The following year, a couple months later, Parramatta met the Dragons at Acor because at this time CommBank was being rebuilt. And I still remember Jared Hayne, the hot cross bun, damaged head. He had all this tape around his face. And Jared Hayne had an insane night, and Parramatta won that game 40 points to 4. So, that's where it started. There's been some big score lines, 32 to 18. I
Yeah.
think it was a really close one at halftime. And I think Clint Gutherson, from memory, took over doing some Gutherinos.
Oh yeah.
It really has been a while since we've seen the Gutherino, and he tells me he's retired it. So
Yeah, I
I really
haven't seen it, eh? Haven't
I
seen
hope
it
we get to
for
see it at
ages.
some point.
Yeah, even
What are
with
you looking
oh,
forward to most about this weekend?
just CommBank in general, like, I've never been, and my
First
first time
time.
going. Yeah, me and Dad's first time. Dad's never been, so yeah, I'm
Yeah,
just keen to
awesome.
see the atmosphere at CommBank.
Awesome. Well, going into this game, do you think that the Dragons are playing bad footy? Like, obviously, they're sitting, towards the bottom of the ladder, which is actually where I had them. I had them in second last
Yeah.
to the Knights as the wooden spoon because I am an idiot and I can't tip tips for shit. But I don't think they're playing that bad. I think there have been some games where they've been absolutely blown out in the second half, which is
Yeah.
kind of like the Raiders in previous years, where they play a decent first half, compete with team, and then just lose the second half by a pretty poor
Yeah.
margin. But I think the Dragons are playing okay footy going into this game. I
Yeah.
mentioned the changes, and I think the big one, the back rowers, which I think that's where Parramatta is going to
Mm,
target. Billy Burns and Dan Russell,
yeah.
potential of Jack Bird maybe coming into the side, being named
Yeah.
on the reserves. But where do you think the weaknesses are for the Dragons?
Definitely the defense wise, like, um, typically the fullback Sloan, like, it's shown in a couple of games, like he gets just dragged and thrown and stuff like that, and yeah, just Dragons defense in the just it's been horrible for the past couple of years, and yeah, that's about it.
Yeah. What do you think about the halves combination in Amon and Hunt? Obviously, Sullivan injured at the moment, your mate. But
Yeah.
do you think this is the best combination that the Dragons can go with at present?
Um, at present, I think so because I don't know or think they have anyone else, but Sullivan and Ben Hunt they play pretty well together, but pretty sure like all of last year it's been Amon and Ben Hunt, and Amon had like a really good game where he scored like 3 times. That I think that was like the last time he scored, and it was towards the end of the season. So and
That
at the
was against the
moment,
Raiders. I was there at that
yeah,
game. That was in
yeah,
Canberra. I think you lost the game, but
yeah.
you only lost by two. And yeah,
Yeah, it's
Amon scored a hat
close.
trick in Canberra.
Close, very close games, but yeah, talking about footy wise, the Dragons, yeah, everyone's tipped them to be last. Like, that's fair. Like, people are gonna win their tips, I guess, but you honestly don't know. Like, it's looking most likely, but not. Like, there's a battle, but for the spoon. Like Bulldogs, Tigers, even another team could just fall off and slip into that. Roosters, huh?
Maybe if they don't win tonight. At the time of filming this, we are half an hour away from the
Yeah,
Roosters and Manly game, by the way, guys. Is there anyone you look? You mentioned Tyrell Sloan, and I think in attacking, he is fantastic, but
yeah,
in defense, very
mm,
questionable. So
yeah,
Tyrell
yeah.
Sloan could be one. Is there anybody who doesn't
100%.
deserve their spot that's in this current team? It's a very hard question to be put on the spot because everyone seems to have their
Yeah.
moments. But is there anyone that you just keep watching going, fuck, how does he get picked?
Um, probably,
Do you need the team list read to you?
no, I've got it on my
You've
phone
got it up
up.
there.
Yeah, I've got it up. Honestly, sometimes Billy Bones can run the ball. Like, I've seen him do it live, and he just gets hated too much. Like, but I don't really know. Like,
So do
at
you
the start,
do you think that that lineup is pretty much exactly what you would have had if you were to make those choices?
yeah, most likely. But now, now that DeBellin's out, do you know the replacement? I don't know the
It
replacement.
hasn't come up on the app here. I would take a
Yeah,
guess and say maybe Toby Couchman could come
yeah,
in at lock, or Blake Laurie could go to lock with Couchman off the prop position. That would be a guess
yeah,
if I was the coach. I
and
was trying to remember who your coach is, but
yeah, Ryan Carb.
Ryan Carr, that's it.
Yeah, but in reserves we have Ryan Couchman, so he could honestly make his debut, but I don't know. Like,
Hmm.
Zane Musgrove is in last in interchange, and not really a fan of him.
Do
So
you think let's talk about my team now. Do you think the
yeah,
inclusion for Dylan Brown is a
oh
massive one, or do
yeah,
you think it's big?
yeah. I think it's massive. I think he's going to be an anytime try scorer. I think he'll have a cracker game. Like, he's coming back. What, 7 game ban? Was
Yeah,
it?
7 game suspension.
Yeah. So I think he'll have a wonderful game. Like
Do
he's
you think?
back at Combank, back at home, so
Mm,
I bet he misses his footy.
yeah.
So yeah, I think he'll have a pretty decent game and honestly smash us.
Do you think the wing? Look, obviously, there's been issues with
Ooh,
Sebo's performances. There's been issues with Wonga Blake. I actually like Isaac Lumi Lumi. I think yes, he does let in some tries or a few
yeah,
tries, so Dragons will be scoring some points. But I think out of the choices we have, the depth that we currently have, this is our best option. And Sean Russell has been insane, so good that he was probably my man of the match last week in Melbourne.
yeah.
Do you think the Dragons just target those wings all night, or do you think there's other positions where Parramatta might find weakness?
I think they can target the wings. They do go to the wings heaps. Like they always give it to Ravalawa, but then like we lose the ball and stuff. But yeah, I think we'll go to the I think we'll go to the Lumi Lumi side a bit more. Like
Yep.
because we haven't seen much from him, honestly. He's been stuck in reserve grade. He gets a call up what like twice a year sometimes, not even. But yeah, um I think the wings are the go
Yep.
for the Dragons, honestly.
You might not know too much about this one. I think you know a bit, but I want to ask you now, Brendan Hands. Now, Brendan Hands has been Parramatta's number 9 all year. He's
Yeah.
been consistent. He's been involved in some of our great wins for the season when we went on that 5-game win streak. Now, Joey Lussick, who was formerly at the club, played his first game in Parramatta colours in 3 years in Melbourne last week. And it looks like Brendan Hands has been either rested, or I'm putting rested because I don't think it's happening, or dropped. Do you
Ooh,
think that the Parramatta Eels have made a silly decision getting rid of their starting hooker for the season, or do you think that Joey Lussick, from what you've seen in 2020 and or 2021 and 2023 last week against the Storm, is the right choice this weekend?
I think Joey Lussick coming back. Um it's a bit of a change, but he's played with yous for a while, hasn't he? So
So he played probably I think I could be wrong. I'd say maybe 14 games. I don't think he was starting
ooh,
hooker. I think Marnie was still starting hooker, but Marnie would come off and Lussick would come on.
yeah,
And he looked
they have
good.
to
And he looked okay against Melbourne. But, to drop Brandon Hands, obviously I feel Brandon's
yeah,
definitely feeling fatigue, but it's a really interesting move. So from another team's fan perspective, I kind of wanted to get your perspective on that.
yeah, I think just dropping someone out of the blue it's not it, like, um, yeah, I feel
AKA
bad for
Lomax.
yeah, I feel b honestly, when that during that situation, I was more than happy because Dragons lost 6 in a row, and I'm not just blaming him, but the conversions mattered. We lost
Mm.
by most of the games by 2 points, legit mostly 2 points,
On a
and,
golden point for the Dragons if Lomax was playing.
yeah, it's crazy how, the 2 points mattered, like, imagine if we got those t like, got those games, like, they were all mostly 2 points, like, damn, we would've been, like, up here.
Yeah,
But
could have
nah,
been
look,
could have been a lot better with some of those results. Well,
yeah,
let's get into our tips, our try scorers, things like that for Sunday. So, look, guys, get down to the game. Still plenty of tickets left. Parramatta
yeah,
Eels taking on the Dragons at 2 o'clock. Really nice family friendly time. And hopefully it's not raining, as I mentioned, because
yeah,
it will be a fans on the field experience.
yeah,
Um, Look, I think Parramatta win this game. When I
for
think Parramatta lose, I do tip against Parramatta. I tipped against us against the Cowboy. I tipped against us. I can't remember. There's been a couple times this year, not too many, but there's been a couple. Um, Look, I think this is one of Parramatta's stronger sides. I think I like that Ofahigi Ogden has been overlooked, but I don't know how good of a signing Joe Offahengawi's been. I think it
yeah,
was a little bit overhyped. You mentioned it, Dylan Brown back. I think it's a massive inclusion. And
yeah,
then the bench is very different, but I don't mind it. And look, without Brendan Hands, who, as I mentioned, as good as he is, I think he is feeling some fatigue. So I hope he's just being rested for the week to
yeah,
come back next week. I think Parramatta do win 13 plus. I know a lot of people are tipping the Eels
Yeah,
to win here 1 to 12, but I don't think we win outrageous. I don't think we score 40, 50 points here at home like some people say.
yeah.
My scoreline is the Eels to win by 16. I've got
Ooh,
Parramatta to win 32 points to 16. I still think, as good as our defense can be, it is questionable, and the Dragons do know how to score points. And the Dragons know how to score points in 5 minutes and then go missing for the rest of the game. So there's a
yeah.
good chance that, the Dragons could potentially go out to a 10-point lead if they are to score first and then get run down. But my first try scorer, he's coming back from 7 weeks. He's playing with a lot of confidence. My first try scorer is Dylan Brown for this game. So, look, I still haven't really gotten too much into the anytime try scorers, but I think between Gutherson and Moses, I think probably Clint Gutherson will probably score. He'll want a big game after a really
Yeah.
poor performance last week in Melbourne. And if I had to pick a Dragons try scorer, look, you mentioned it. I'll go with Talatau Moan. Both number sixes to score this
Oh,
weekend.
also it's his 50th game, so
Oh, there you go. A little bit of a milestone. I think it's Bryce Cartwright's 50th game
yeah,
for
so
Parramatta as well.
I think I'm own at Wollongong wherever he has his family always turn up, but I think they might have a bigger crowd because it's his 50th NRL game.
Yeah, that'd be cool to
So
see some Amon shirts and things like that in the crowd. All
yeah,
right, let's get into your tip. Are you tipping your Dragons on Sunday?
yeah. I don't tip against them. I always tip Dragons. That's why I never get a clean round. But yeah, I'm tipping Dragons, not 13 plus. I reckon 1 to 12. But with everyone's tipping, everyone's stuff, I'm just seeing Eels 13 plus. Like it's just crazy. I've seen Zane Potter's video because I'm really good mates with Zane. I did not expect it. He goes a close one. He reckons it's going to be a close one. Like Parramatta win by like two or four. Like I don't know, but
Maybe he
I'm
wants the
tipping,
Rabbitohs for and against to get better than
yeah,
Parramatta's. Like the people, I won't name people, that have been tipping the Dolphins this week. Everyone's tipping the Dolphins because they don't want the Knights to make the top 8.
yeah. I'm tipping Knights. They're on a roll.
Absolutely.
But yeah. Anyways, I have honestly no clue about a first try scorer, but anytime I'm gonna give my boy Mika Ravalawa anytime, like him against who was it, Sean Russell?
Ravala's on the right side, isn't he? So he'll be
Yeah.
against Lumi Lumi.
Oh,
Yeah. So he might score a double, I'm thinking. The more I think about that.
two Fijians against each other, but
Yeah, well, we normally
um,
have Sivo against
oh,
Lumi Lumi.
that would be so good if Sivo played, eh? But
Yeah, it's
yeah.
disappointing.
Ravalawa destroys Lumi Lumi in the size wise and probably
Mm.
run it straight. So yeah, I think Ravalawa for a double, even a hat trick.
Oh, that's a big prediction. The more I think about it, I don't mind Ravalawa not only to score, but to score two. He can
Yeah,
score two
double.
when the Dragons do lose by big margins, which I have the Dragons losing by quite a big margin. But anyway, we'll be meeting on Sunday. I look forward
Yeah,
to it.
well
And
for
I want to
sure.
wish your team all that good luck as well. And I know you're looking forward to fans on the field.
Yeah,
You learned for the first time, you're surprised. And yeah,
pretty
thank you for
nervous.
jumping on for the preview.
Thanks for having me. We'll catch each other on the field, hopefully.
That sounds good. All
Um,
right, guys, make sure you head on
yeah.
over and follow Julian Ali over on TikTok. He posts some funny shit. He gets up in Ben Hunt's wife's DM. So if you want to see more fun like that, make sure you head on over. If you're new to this channel and you've just found this video, make sure you do subscribe to the channel. And we will see you guys later. Thank you.
Thank you.